Hello my gorgeous makeup loving friends, how's it going? In today's video I am looking at Shroud Cosmetics collaboration with Beautbean. It's the It's Freakin Bats palette. So it's a very green, blue, purpley, shimmery palette. Really quite pretty. I of course created this look, the eye look, not the face look. I'm not very good at base makeup at the moment because my skin is weird. Anyways, that's not the point of this video. I'm using this, so if you want to see face swatches so you can get an idea of what the shadows themselves look like, see the tutorial of this and get an overall review of the product, then this is the video for you. Do please keep on watching. Don't be alarmed, it's only me and my ratchety looking face, but that's okay because we're just here to do some quick swatches of the It's Freakin Bats palette. Now when it arrived, this shade here actually was completely shattered, so I had to repress it using isopropyl alcohol, so I'm hoping that doesn't change the formula. We'll see. So however that performs, I will take that with a pinch of salt. So we're going into the first three shades. We have Handbook, Spooky, and Apparition. And I hear my cat Darcy crying outside because he's like, I haven't been fed in the last 20 minutes. And I'm like, yes, because you would continue to eat us out of house and home. And on to the next three, we have Adams, like the Addams family, Sam and Trapper. And that's what they look like. So we have Adams, Focus, Sam, and Trapper. Ooh, they are nice, aren't they? It's a kind of similar colour story to the Nebula palette by Kaleidos, like, you know, those murky greens and kind of darky blues. Not exact, but like you can see how they're similar-ish. Then we have Zero, Derry, and Grim. Like Derry is in the county, fantastic. So Zero, that is a nice shimmer. Derry, that's very dark. You're all right, Darcy, it's fine. And Grim, like the grim day outside. That is lovely. So those are the swatches. And yeah, I mean, it looks nice. The colour story makes a lot of sense. No idea what it is that I'm going to do with it. But keep on watching if you want to see what I do with these and make it into a hopefully coherent look. We'll see. We'll see. So we're obviously looking to try and recreate this eye onto this eye. Lord knows it's a big task because I can't 100% remember exactly what it was that I did because I was listening to the Welsh Twins Double Cleanse podcast. I just ended up giggling through most of it for this. So we'll see how it goes. I'm using the JS12 and I am going into the shade Spooky, which is that nice kind of dark periwinkle blue, which kind of goes against what a periwinkle blue is. And I'm just obviously putting that in there and just patting it on first, and then I'm going to blend it. It blends really nicely and really easily. It's really funny though because this arrived the exact same day as the Club Nebula palette from Kaleidos, and you can kind of see the two of them have some similarities in the sense that they're picking up on a lot of the same sort of bluey greeny tones. So I mean, when I can say that my Friday was fun, I was like, oh my god, stuff that I enjoy. It was very exciting for me. I regret nothing. Using this same brush again, I am going into the shade Adams, like the Addams family. Because I'm lazy and I just like to use the same brush again. Because I forgot, well, not I forgot, but I was lazy and didn't clean the brushes that I used yesterday. Because I didn't get the chance because I was busy editing. And yeah, that's my life. So dirty brushes everywhere. Unfortunately, I don't have a John like Elena does to clean my brushes. Trying to teach Darcy and Cece, but no luck so far, no luck so far. So this blends really nicely. And actually you might see I've kind of put a shimmer between the two shades there. Don't worry, I did do that, and I do remember doing that vaguely. I mean, you know, in as much as I can. I swear, my memory is just horrific these days. I have to put down the glasses so I can actually see what it is that I'm doing. I have this Spectrum B11 brush and I'm going into the shade Grim, which is this shade here. So it's a nice kind of a blue shade Missa. That's your kind of a thing. I actually think this is quite a Missa-ish palette. Although there's no pinks in it, so actually maybe I should retract that statement, but I think she'd enjoy the blues in here. Like, look at that, that's a really nice kind of a shade. So I'm just swishing that between the two of them. I want to give some dimension. I swear I've been hanging out with Daniela so much, so now I'm just picking up on like little phrases of like dimension and depth and whatever. Granted, now she's far more talented than me, but like, you know, whatever. Maybe if I hang out with her enough, like some of the talent will like, I don't know, like rub off on me or something. That's how talent works, right? I am using this Sigma E27 and I'm going into the shade Derry, which is this shade. I didn't even have to read it to remember because I was like, Derry, like the county? Interesting. Or maybe it's just that she's been watching a lot of Derry girls. Now, I don't watch Beautbean. I watch her from time to time, so I don't know what the connection is in terms of like Derry, but you know, fair enough. I won't knock it. I also put another shimmer between the two of those and it's quite bright, so I will have to go back in with this shade again, just because otherwise it kind of clocks it. You'll see. This kind of is a smidgen patchy, so you do have to work with that a little bit. Nothing major though, like, you know, not enough to be like, how very dare you. Now this is the first time I've ever tried Shroud Cosmetics. It did take a long time to get here because she has an indie business and, you know, obviously everything has kind of, I don't know if you know, but there's this thing, there's a pandemic and it takes longer to ship. So what I'm doing now is, oh, what did I do exactly? Oh, so I used the B11 and I think, I have to have a look at myself. What was it that I did? I think I went into the shade Sam. I think it was Sam. Either Sam or Zero, whatever. The eyes don't have to match completely, right? I mean, I'm not going anywhere. I'm just going to pop that there. Yeah. Phew. Okay, and you can see it is quite bright, so I'm just gonna swish it between the two. So yeah, anyways, it's like a small little company. So she had put I had ordered this back in November and she had put it as like a pre-order, so I only just got it there the other day, so what, February 19th. And part of the delay was her pressing machine had essentially given in, which I can't even imagine how stressful that must be. Using the Sigma brush again, going into the shade Derry. Why did I pronounce it that way? That was so weird. But yeah, I mean, I think she did a good job. Must be stressful running like an indie company at this point and just trying to get everything organised. So yeah, that's it. You can see it blends pretty well. At least I think it does. Probably get more of a sheen on this side, so I might take a little bit more of that shade Sam and pop it there, while apparently my house makes weird noises. Or maybe I should take a bit of the shade Zero. Haha, why not? It's my video, I can do what I want. Right? You don't hate me for doing this, right? I'm just going back into Derry again. Oh God, I probably put on too much. Whoops. Whoops. Very much. Just taking that Spectrum again and just floofy. There we go. Ah, that's better. And then taking the E27, I'm actually just putting it through the colour switch. Sorry, I thought I was going to sneeze. Getting ready we're doing a quiz tonight with my Patreons, so that should be fun. Looking forward to that. I just wrote up the questions this morning. So yeah, anyways, that's that. What I'm going to do now is, you can see that I put like some coloured liner on. So I'm going to cut this out. And in case you're wondering what liners I have, they are the Suva liners. So I have Dance Party, which is the yellow. I have Fanny Pack, which is a terrible name, but also Brilliant, which is the green one, and Tracksuit, which is the blue one. So I am going to cut that out, put on the liners, and we'll come back and we'll just do the centre of the eye together. It's a very, very simple look because I'm a bit lazy today. Enjoy. So as you can see there, I have the liner on. My lord, the yellow, I think it's Dance Party. Oh my god, that cracks so bad. I don't recommend that as a liner. There's a reason why there's jewels on the other eye. And I put a little bit of this Collection liquid liner in the shade Golden Hour 3 over the yellow, just to try and zhuzh it up a little bit. I do love the word zhuzh. I'm using this Jessup 237 and I'm apparently flinging things onto the floor, but it's fine. Going into the shade Handbook. Are we really that surprised? Honestly, I don't know how I refrained from using Trappa. Like, that took a lot of strength, you know, internal strength. So you can see this goes on really well. I'm sure probably if you applied it with the finger it would go on even better, but you just need a good shading brush and it goes on no problem. So just trying to get that up there. I didn't even really have to blend it with the other shimmers that I used. The birds are going mental outside. Like, lads, is everything all right? It's the one thing about where I'm filming, there's like a load of trees outside, which is lovely for me, but it does mean that when I'm like listening back and editing, I just hear a lot of bird song and I'm like, oh dear. Oh well. Could be so much worse, you know? And then I'm just going to put this same brush through the colour switch because you know what I'm like. I'm lazy. Couldn't be bothered to do anything more. And I'm going into the shade Sam. So at this point I think I've used maybe 7 of the 9 shades, which isn't bad. It means I can give a decent enough idea of, or a review of, my overall first impression of this, which is always the goal when I'm doing this. Again, you can see it applies no problem. You can see how nicely it merges with the other shade. I'm just bringing that out there. And I have the Zoom quiz in a few hours, so I'm all excited about that. We have a couple of interesting rounds. We have renamed the makeup product, we have a language round, and we have a finish the phrase. And it's all just meant to be funny answers. Going into the shade Grim with the exact same brush again, because I'm lazy. Couldn't be bothered to do anything more. And just pat that there. I'm gonna have to bring the liner out a little bit further, but whatever, that's future Teresa's problem. She can deal with that. And I'll be doing that all off camera, so you won't have to see the struggle. That's just for me. Yeah, the pigment on that is pretty darn nice. Yeah, and then literally all I'm doing, I mean, this is such a simple look. I'm just taking this E36 by Sigma and I'm taking it dry and I'm just going between a Handbook and Sam to just kind of soften it a bit. And then I'm going between Sam and Grim here. Super simple. Couldn't be bothered. You're welcome. That's it. Like, that's as simple as it is. I will obviously finish off the liner, put on the lashes. I am using these gems that I got on Amazon. I'll link them down below along with the wax pen that I have. Oh yes, the liner that I'm using on the waterline is the Barry M High Vis in what shade? Caution. Words are hard. Anyways, yes, I'm going to finish this off and we'll come back at the end and see what it all looks like. And I'll tell you what it is that I think of the palette. So I'm back and I did the rest of my face. In case you're wondering, this is the Melt Liquid Lip in the shade Melancholy, spelled C-O-L-L-I-E like the dog. But this is the finished look. I will zoom you in so you can see the eyes. Hopefully you like them. So these are the eyes, obviously. Don't mind the rubbish liner. The yellow is just terrible. See, even the camera couldn't focus on it. But that's it. It's a very simple look. They were very easy to blend. I'll take off the glasses. Don't mind the imprints on my nose. We're not judging that. We're also not judging my lashes. I did have to put on gems to cover up the cracking. If only we could do that in our real lives. Wherever there are cracks, place gems. So that's it. So this is what the palette looks like again. It was a pity that this shade arrived smashed, but like, it is what it is. I'm not gonna kind of get salty or whatever about that. I am very aware that this is kind of not in competition with, but it is quite a similar colour story to the Nebula by Kaleidos. Both of these are, of course, collaborations with YouTube influencers, one being Agnieszka or Angelica Nichvist, and one being Beautbean. The colour story on this is really nice. I think it's curated really, really well. Everything blended really, really nicely. I think this was a smidgen patchy dairy, but I was able to work with it and get it to go the way that I needed to. But all in all, pretty darn good. I think just because of the sheer patchiness of Derry, I would give it maybe a 9.5. But like I said, it worked out pretty darn well. If I was to choose between the Nebula and the It's Freakin' Bats palette, I would probably go with the Nebula. I think the Nebula is a more kind of comprehensive story, and I think the shimmers are that little bit more interesting, but I think both of these are limited edition palettes, so it kind of is what it is. But that's it. That's the end of the video. Do please like, comment and subscribe. Do please share, because sharing is caring, unless of course it's an STD, in which case, you know, wrap it up. Don't be gross. But that's it. That's the end of the video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.